Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel. Today I'm doing a little video about things that cause our family some stress. So, as you guys may be aware at this point, I obviously stress about a lot of things that I shouldn't stress about. I also stress about a lot of things that I should stress about. I have no notes for this one. This is just off the top of my head stuff, so I apologize for any kind of splicing that may happen in this video. So my biggest fears are what's to come in this upcoming year. As you know, if you carry insurance in the United States, um, every year in January, it resets your deductible. Our insurance, it costs a lot, and we are a family of 3 living on one income. My fears are that in the upcoming year, that once that resets, that we will be unable to afford my health care. And that's both my mental health care and my physical health care. With the conditions that I have, it's really important that I have routine medical care. Missing doses of medicine isn't good for me, both physically or mentally. Or I should say, and mentally. Missing my physical meds could mean deterioration. Well, that's a hard word for me to say. You guys know what I'm trying. Deterioration. Anyways, you know what I'm saying, of my joints, which can mean less ability to move, less ability to function, less ability to live. And by missing my mental health meds, that can mean the same thing. Less ability to move, more days of depression, less energy, more hopelessness, more worthlessness. It could mean some bad things. And the cost of going to the doctors and the therapist and, the rheumatologist and the psychiatrist and all of those, it adds up really quick. Just to kind of give you a little hint of things is that it costs roughly, $200 each time I visit my rheumatologist. That's not including lab work. That's just for office visit. We're talking another $145 for my primary care physician, about another $160 every time I see my psychiatrist, another $100 plus for my therapy appointments. Then you start looking into laboratory, which, as we know, adds up pretty quickly. Those are usually $200 to $400 each round. And then my medications on top of that. I don't know the exact cost of most of my medications because I was lucky enough that this year, that when I started taking majority of them, I had already met my deductible. But I can say that when I paid for one of my basic medications earlier on this year, that I paid $175, and that was after the coverage of my insurance. So you can imagine when you have a bucket load of meds that you take, just how expensive that is and how quickly it adds up. And before you go there, yes, we do have an HSA that we are saving money in, but that money is still coming out of our pocket. So it means we don't get to see it right away, so we don't spend it on other stuff, but it does go into paying for our medical stuff. And now that I'm taking injections, I have to pay for things like the injection needles and alcohol swabs and things like that. Different medications for different things. Lots of supplements that, while they're not considered necessary by the insurance company, my doctor has ordered them but they are not covered. So those things we are paying out of pocket. So like the glucosamine and the calcium and vitamin D that are required in order to help keep my joints mobile and moving and keep me going are not covered by my insurance. Those come out of my pocket, and they are not covered by my HSA card either. So there's that. There's other things that I have to look forward to, like medical equipment, one of which is thankfully will be covered this year, but if we hadn't met our deductible, it wouldn't have been, is a shower chair, because sometimes I barely have the strength to stand up in the shower. Sometimes, and we don't have a bathtub in our house, so there's been more than once that I've sat on the floor in our shower with the water running over me, crying because I wasn't sure how I was going to be able to get up. And yeah, that's not a position you want to be in. You don't want to be the naked person in the shower. That's like everybody's fear, you know? And yes, my husband is home and I could be like, hey, can you help me? But it's embarrassing that I don't have the same independence that I used to have. I guess I'm just putting this out there because I don't think people realize just how widely affected people are by our healthcare system, and how we could end up in such a society where mental health is looked at so negatively, and how disabilities are looked at like, you know, like if you have a disability, like, you know, like it's not the end of my life. Thankfully, I'm gonna make it work one way or another. Hopefully we make it, and if not, I guess you're gonna see a real downward spiral on this channel. But I'm also fortunate enough that I do have the support of my family, and I know that they would do anything to keep us going. And I've already begun talking to doctors about what it's going to look like next year, explaining that we won't have the money to see them as often as I do now. Right now, I see most of my doctors on a monthly basis. I see a therapist on a weekly basis. My psychiatrist, like I said, monthly basis most of the time, unless if I feel like I need an adjustment ahead of time. And we're slowly working our way into getting to where we could space that out. But until I'm off of the prednisone and we've kind of leveled out, we're not quite sure what that's going to look like. So anyways, this was just a brief video of some of my fears. I fear that things will get worse in the future. It's part of my mental health that I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop. Because that's kind of the way things have gone for me. And this isn't a pity me thing. Like, my life is by no means like the worst it could be. I've had those moments where I thought it was, but I've come to realize there are people that have it worse than I, and that if I really want to help myself, then I need to help myself and help others. So that's where we're at. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, you want to tell me a little bit about your concerns for the future year, the 2019 year, leave them down below. And if you're seeing this video after the 2019 year has started, good luck. And you know, let me know how things are going for you this year. I'd like to do some more interaction with you guys and find out a little bit more about what you would like to see. And yeah. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Be sure you ring that little bell icon. That way you don't miss a video. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. I almost forgot to mention that another fear that I have with this upcoming year, and financially and like physically and mentally and all of that, is just how I'm going to get there. Like, how am I going to make it to my appointments? How am I going to afford to make it to my appointments? The travel to get to those appointments. Like, my rheumatologist, I don't actually have a local rheumatologist. I have to travel. The one I currently see is over an hour and a half away. And, you know, my primary care physician is about an hour away. We do have a local hospital, but I just have not had very good success with them. One of the things that also brings me like big concerns is that what if I need to go to the ER next year? I had some very unpleasant ER experiences at my local ER. I'd like to do a story time on that. If you would like to hear some stories about the local hospital here, please vote in the poll linked up above, wherever side it is. And if you want to, I will totally make a video about those experiences. It may not be very like edited or productioned or any of that kind of stuff, but it will at least give you an idea of what we're working with. But I wanted to throw that in there before I forgot. So thank you guys.
We can make a wildfire getaway.